The dust storm had finally cleared when Hyunwoo drove his supply truck across the rocky terrain of Epsilon 7. He hated these runs to the outer survey stations. But someone had to check the equipment every 2 weeks. The mining colony depended on these stations to monitor the planet's unstable atmosphere. He was humming an old song when he saw something strange near Survey Station Beta. 2 tall figures lay crumpled on the ground near the entrance. Hyunwoo's heart jumped. He grabbed his emergency kit and ran toward them. They weren't human. The beings were unlike anything Hyunwoo had seen in his 3 years on this remote world. They had pale, almost see-through skin that shimmered weakly in the dim light. Each had 4 arms, now lying limp against their thin bodies. They were clearly sisters, their faces sharing the same delicate features. Both were barely breathing. "Hello? Can you hear me?" Hyunwoo knelt beside them, his hands shaking slightly. One of them opened her eyes. They were silver, filled with pain and exhaustion. She tried to speak, but the sounds made no sense. Hyunwoo pulled out his translator device from his belt. The small machine beeped and whirred, struggling to process the alien language. "Stranded. Many days. Cannot eat. Everything poison." The translation was broken. But Hyunwoo understood enough. These 2 had been here for weeks, slowly starving to death. He should call the main base. Protocol demanded it. Director Ji-won Park would send a medical team and quarantine specialists. But that would take hours, maybe days, to process through all the bureaucracy. These beings didn't have days. He could see death creeping into their silver eyes. Hyunwoo made a decision that would change everything. He carefully lifted the first sister. She weighed almost nothing, her body light as a bird. "I'm taking you somewhere safe," he said softly, even though she probably couldn't understand him. "I'm going to help you." It took 3 trips to get both sisters and their small bag of belongings into his truck. He covered them with thermal blankets and drove back to the colony. His mind racing. He couldn't take them to the medical bay. Too many questions, too many procedures. Instead, he drove to the back entrance of his quarters. Hyunwoo lived alone in a small apartment attached to the colony's kitchen facility. As the supply officer and main cook, he had extra space for food storage and a small hydroponics garden where he grew fresh vegetables. It was perfect for hiding 2 alien visitors. He laid them on his bed and sofa, making them as comfortable as possible. The younger one was shaking badly. The older one watched him with those silver eyes, seeming to understand that he was trying to help. "Food," the older one whispered through the translator. "We tried. Everything made us sick." Hyunwoo looked at them and thought about what he knew. Most aliens he'd heard about could eat standard nutrient packs, those processed bars that contained everything a body needed. But these 2 had obviously tried that already. Then he had an idea. He went to his kitchen and started cooking. Not fancy food, just simple human food. He boiled rice until it was soft and mushy. He steamed some vegetables from his garden until they were tender. He made a gentle broth from herbs and a little bit of salt. The apartment filled with warm, comforting smells. Hyunwoo brought the food to them on simple bowls. The sisters looked at the steaming dishes with confusion and maybe a little fear. The older one said something in her language. "My name is Hyunwoo," he said, pointing to himself. Then he pointed to the food and pretended to eat. "This is safe. This is human food. Please try." The younger sister looked at her older sibling. They seemed to have a silent conversation. Finally, the older one reached out with a trembling hand. She took the bowl and lifted a small spoonful of rice to her mouth. Hyunwoo held his breath. She swallowed. Then she took another spoonful, and another. Suddenly, she was eating quickly. Desperately. The younger sister grabbed her own bowl and began eating too. They consumed everything he had brought, scraping the bowls clean. "More?" the older one asked through the translator. And Hyunwoo heard hope in her voice for the first time. He cooked more rice, more vegetables, more broth. He brought them fresh fruit from his small garden. They ate everything. He watched in amazement as some color began to return to their pale skin. They stopped shaking. Their breathing became easier. But then something unexpected happened. Both sisters began to glow. It started as a faint light under their skin. then grew brighter. Soft pulses of luminescence moved through their bodies like waves. Hyunwoo jumped up, terrified that he had poisoned them somehow. No, 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 he said, reaching for his medical scanner. What's happening? Are you okay? The older sister looked at her own glowing hands with wonder. She turned to Hyunwoo, and tears were falling from her silver eyes. She spoke, and the translator worked better this time, her voice clearer and stronger. More, please. This is first real food. In our lifetime. The younger sister was crying too, holding her stomach as the glow pulsed through her body. We feel alive, she whispered. How is this possible? Hyunwoo sat down hard in his chair. He didn't understand what was happening, but clearly, this was good. Not bad. The glow was beautiful. Not dangerous. The sisters looked at him like he had just performed a miracle. Who are you? He asked quietly. Where are you from? The older sister took a deep breath. I am Velara. This is my sister, Tis. We are Seluvani, from the core worlds. Our ship crashed during a diplomatic mission. We have been here for 23 days, trying to survive. Why couldn't you eat normal food? Hyunwoo asked. Velara's face became sad. Our people. We changed ourselves long ago. We stopped eating organic food like this. We consume only pure energy, processed crystals, but our bodies are dying from it. We are all dying, slowly, for thousands of years. This touched her sister's arm gently. And now, we taste real food for the first time. How do you have this? This is like magic to us. Hyunwoo laughed a little, though his mind was spinning with the implications. It's not magic. It's just food. This is how all humans eat. We grow plants. We cook them. We share meals together. It's the most normal thing in the world to us. The sisters looked at each other with expressions of shock and wonder. The glow under their skin was already starting to fade, but they looked stronger than before. More solid. More real. Can we stay? Velara asked. Can you feed us more? We will not be trouble. We will help however we can. Hyunwoo knew this was against every rule the colony had. He could lose his job. He could face criminal charges for hiding alien visitors. Director Park would be furious when she found out. But looking at these two sisters, who had been slowly dying until he gave them something as simple as a bowl of rice, he knew he couldn't turn them away. You can stay, he said. I'll keep you safe. And I'll feed you. Tis smiled for the first time, and it was like the sun coming up. Thank you, Hyunwoo of Earth. You have saved our lives today. He just hoped he could keep them hidden long enough to figure out what to do next. 3 days passed, and Hyunwoo watched a miracle happen in his small apartment. Each morning, he woke early to prepare breakfast for Velara and This. He started with simple foods, worried about overwhelming their systems. Soft rice porridge with honey, steamed sweet potatoes, gentle vegetable soups. But as the sisters grew stronger, he became braver with his cooking. On the second day, he introduced them to fruit. Tis bit into an apple and actually gasped with joy. She ate 3 more, tears streaming down her face as she described flavors she had never imagined could exist. On the third day, Hyunwoo made them kimchi from his precious supply of fermented vegetables. Velara was cautious at first, but after one taste, she declared it the most wonderful thing she had ever experienced. The spicy, tangy flavors made her laugh with delight. The transformation was incredible. The sisters' translucent skin now had a healthy glow. Not the strange pulsing light from the first meal, but a natural warmth. They moved with grace, instead of weakness. Their silver eyes sparkled with energy. Even their voices sounded richer and fuller through the translator. But Hyunwoo knew he couldn't keep this secret forever. On the morning of the 4th day, his best friend Minji appeared at his door. She was the colony's chief engineer, a brilliant woman who could fix anything. She was also terrifyingly observant. Hyunwoo, you've been acting weird, she said, pushing past him into the apartment. You've been sneaking extra food from storage. You haven't come to the common room in days. And I heard strange voices from your place last night. What's going on? She stopped dead when she saw Valara and Thys sitting at his small table, eating breakfast. Please don't scream, Hyunwoo said quickly. Minji's mouth opened and closed several times. She looked at the sisters, then at Hyunwoo, then back at the sisters. Are those aliens? In your apartment? Eating pancakes? Yes, Hyunwoo admitted. This is Valara and Thys. I found them dying 4 days ago. I've been feeding them. Please, Minji, don't report this. They need help. Minji slowly sat down in the nearest chair. She stared at the sisters with wide eyes. This is insane. This is completely against protocol. Director Park will lock you up for this. Thys spoke through her translator, her voice nervous. Please. We mean no harm. Hyunwoo saved our lives. We are grateful to be here. You speak Korean? Minji asked, startled. The translator learns quickly, Valara explained. The more we talk, the better it works. We can understand you well now. Minji rubbed her face with her hands. Okay, I need to understand this. Why are you here? Why couldn't your people rescue you? Valara's expression became sad. Our ship was destroyed in the crash. No one knows where we are. Our people believe we died in space, not on this planet. No rescue is coming. And why does human food matter so much? Minji asked. What Valara told them next shocked both humans into silence. The Selivani had once been like humans, eating organic food and living natural lives. But 10,000 years ago, they discovered how to modify their bodies to consume pure energy from crystals. It seemed like progress, like evolution. They could survive anywhere with the right power source. They didn't need farms or complicated food systems, but there was a price they didn't expect. Generation after generation, the Selivani became weaker. Their lifespans shortened. Children were born sick and frail. Their population began to decline. For thousands of years, they tried everything to fix the problem. Advanced medicine, genetic modifications, new energy sources. Nothing worked. We are dying as a species, Valara said quietly. In another 1,000 years, maybe less, there will be no more Selivani. Our scientists have accepted this as inevitable. But then I gave you human food, Hyunwoo said, understanding dawning in his mind. Thys nodded excitedly. Your organic food has compounds our bodies remember. Genetic pathways that have been sleeping for hundreds of generations are waking up. We can feel it. We are healing. Minji leaned forward. Wait. You're saying that human food, regular Earth food, can save your entire species? We don't know for certain, Valara admitted. But if it can do this for us in just 4 days, imagine what it could do with proper study, with time and research. We need to tell your people, Hyunwoo said. They need to know you're alive. And they need to know about this discovery. Our ship is destroyed, Thys said sadly. We have no way to contact them. Minji stood up suddenly, her engineer's mind already working. But I might be able to fix that. Show me where your ship crashed. 2 hours later, the 4 of them stood in the wreckage of the Selivani vessel. It was buried in a rocky canyon, broken into pieces. Most of it was beyond repair. But Minji walked through the debris with sharp eyes. There, she pointed. The communication core. It's damaged, but I think I can get it working enough to send a distress beacon. It won't be a conversation, just a signal that you're alive and your location. How long will it take? Valara asked. Give me 2 days, Minji said. Maybe 3. I'll need to bring some tools from the colony without anyone noticing. Now, they were about to leave when Thys suddenly grabbed her sister's arm. Valara, I feel strange. The younger sister's legs buckled. Hyunwoo caught her before she hit the ground. Her skin was pale again, and she was shaking. What's wrong? He asked urgently. Valara checked her sister with practiced hands. She's changing too fast. Her body is healing and transforming. But it's happening all at once. She needs help. We need Do-hyun, Minji said immediately. Who is Do-hyun? Valara asked. The colony's xenobiologist, Minji explained. He studies alien life forms. He'll know what to do. And I trust him. He won't tell anyone if we ask him not to. They had no choice. Hyunwoo carried this back to his apartment while Minji went to get Do-hyun. The scientist arrived 20 minutes later, his medical bag in hand and his face full of curiosity and concern. Do-hyun examined this carefully. Using scanners that had never seen a Seluvani before, he asked questions, took readings, and finally sat back with an expression of pure wonder. "This is incredible," he whispered. "Her cellular structure is regenerating. Her DNA is reactivating dormant sequences. This shouldn't be possible. But it's happening right in front of me. Can you help her?" Hyunwoo asked desperately. "The transformation is actually healthy," Do-hyun assured them. "But it's happening too quickly. Her body needs more nutrition to support it. And she needs rest. Feed her high-protein foods, lots of vitamins, and keep her calm. She'll be okay in a day or two." He looked at Valara with scientific fascination. "How long have you been eating human food?" 4 days, she answered. 4 days, and you're already showing this level of biological change? This is revolutionary. Your species must know about this. "We're working on it," Minji said. "But we have another problem." Director Park. Everyone looked at her. "She's been tracking unusual energy signatures from Hyunwoo's quarters," Minji explained. "The glow that happens when they eat. It registers on the colony sensors. She thinks someone is running unauthorized experiments. She's scheduled an inspection of all personal quarters for tomorrow morning." Savant. Hyunwoo felt his stomach drop. "Tomorrow? We need more time. Then we work fast," Do-hyun said firmly. "Minji, can you get that beacon working tonight, instead of in 3 days?" "I can try," she said. "Do it." "Valara, write down everything we need to tell your people. Be specific about the food, the effects, the urgency. Hyunwoo, keep taking care of this. I'll see if I can delay the inspection somehow." As everyone rushed to their tasks, Hyunwoo sat beside this, who was resting on his bed. She opened her eyes and gave him a weak smile. "You humans are very kind," she said softly. "You risk everything to help strangers." "You're not strangers anymore," Hyunwoo replied. "You're friends." Outside, night was falling on Epsilon 7. Minji was racing to repair an alien beacon. Do-hyun was trying to buy them time. And somewhere in the colony, Director Park was planning her inspection, completely unaware that everything was about to change. Hyunwoo looked at Valara and these 2 sisters who had fallen into his life by accident, and realized that feeding them had been the most important thing he would ever do. He just hoped they could finish what they started before it was too late. Hyunwoo didn't sleep that night. He sat in his kitchen, cooking meal after meal for trying to help her body through its rapid transformation. By morning, she was better, sitting up and talking, though still weak. Minji burst through the door at dawn, her face exhausted but triumphant. "I did it. The beacon is active. I sent the message an hour ago. Will they receive it?" Valara asked urgently. "If any Seluvani ship is within 3 light-years, they'll hear it." Minji confirmed. "I boosted the signal as much as I could." And the inspection?" Hyunwoo asked. Minji's face fell. "That's the bad news. Do-hyun tried everything, but Director Park moved it up. She'll be here in 2 hours." Hyunwoo looked at the sisters, then at his friends. They were out of time. He made a decision. "Then we tell her the truth," he said. "Are you crazy?" Minji said. "She'll arrest all of us." "Maybe," Hyunwoo agreed. "But we can't hide this anymore. And if we explain it right, she might see the opportunity here. Director Park is strict, but she's not stupid. She'll understand what this means." Valara stood up, her movements now strong and graceful. "Then we should prepare. How should we approach her?" They spent the next hour planning. Do-hyun arrived with all his medical data on this. They organized their evidence, their arguments, their hopes. When Director Ji-won Park arrived at the door with 2 security officers, she was clearly expecting to find smuggled goods or unauthorized equipment. What she found instead stopped her in her tracks. 2 aliens sat calmly at Hyunwoo's table, eating breakfast. "What in the name of Earth?" Park breathed. "Director Park, please don't be alarmed," Hyunwoo said quickly. "Let me explain everything. You have 30 seconds before I call for a full security team," Park said, her hand on her communicator. Hyunwoo talked fast. He told her about finding Valara and Thys dying in the wasteland. He explained about the food, the transformation, the incredible biological changes. Do-hyun stepped forward with his medical data. Minji explained the beacon they had sent. Park listened to it all with a face like stone. When they finished, she was silent for a long moment. "You broke at least 15 colony regulations," she said finally. "You hid alien visitors, performed unauthorized first contact, used colony resources without permission, and sent an unauthorized signal into space. Do you understand how serious this is?" "Yes," Hyunwoo said. "But they were dying. I couldn't let them die." Park looked at Valara and Thys. "You, tell me your story. From the beginning." Valara spoke with dignity, explaining their diplomatic mission, the crash, the weeks of starvation. Thys showed the director her medical readings, the dramatic improvements in just days. Together, they painted a picture of a dying species finding unexpected hope in the most ordinary thing, food. Park sat down heavily. "And you believe human food can save your entire species?" "We don't just believe it," Do-hyun interjected. "The data proves it. Look at these cellular regeneration rates. This isn't just healing. This is genetic restoration. If the Selivani had access to human agriculture, to organic compounds, they could reverse 10,000 years of biological decline." Park rubbed her temples. "Do you understand what you're asking me to consider? If what you say is true, this is the most important first contact in human history. We have something an advanced alien species desperately needs." "Exactly," Minji said. "This could change Earth's position in the galaxy. We wouldn't just be the small colony on a mining planet anymore. Or it could be seen as Earth holding a dying species hostage." Park countered. "Politics, negotiations, treaties. This is far above my authority level." "Director Park," Valara said quietly, "I understand your position. But my people are coming. When they receive our beacon, they will send ships. They will arrive in days, perhaps a week. When they do, you can negotiate from a position of strength. You already saved 2 of us. You have proof of what human food can do. You have time to prepare." Park looked at each of them in turn. Hyunwoo could see the calculations happening behind her eyes. She was ambitious, he knew. She wanted the mining colony to be more than just a forgotten outpost. This was her chance. "1 week," Park said finally. "I'll give you 1 week to prove this works, to establish proper communication with the Selivani, and to prepare a proposal. But I'm taking control now. This becomes an official colony project. No more secrets." Relief flooded through Hyunwoo. "Thank you, Director." "Don't thank me yet," Park warned. "We have a lot of work to do. And there's another problem you don't know about." "What problem?" Minji asked. "A corporate inspector arrived last night. His name is Taeyang Shin, sent by the mining company for a routine audit. He's very thorough, and he's already asking questions about unusual activity." As if summoned by his name, there was a knock at the door. A young man, in a crisp corporate uniform, stood there, his eyes sharp and intelligent. "Director Park?" Taeyang said politely. "I was told I might find you here. I'm following up on some irregularities in the supply logs and energy readings." His eyes moved past her to see Valara and Thys. He went very still. "Those are not human, Inspector Shin," Park said calmly. "You should come in. We have much to discuss." They spent the next hour bringing Taeyang into the situation. He listened without interrupting, taking notes on his tablet. His face revealed nothing. When they finished, he set down his tablet and looked at them all. "This is the most extraordinary situation I've encountered in 10 years of corporate auditing," he said. "And also the most dangerous." "Dangerous how?" Hyunwoo asked. "If this becomes public too soon, without proper preparation, there will be chaos." Taeyang explained. "Every government, every corporation, every military power will want control. The Selavani will be overwhelmed with offers, threats, and manipulation. Earth will be torn apart by competing interests." "What do you suggest?" Park asked carefully. Taeyang smiled slightly. "I suggest we handle this very carefully. Because I'm not actually just a corporate inspector." Everyone stared at him. "I work for Earth Intelligence," he continued. "My job is to monitor remote colonies for exactly this kind of scenario. First contact situations, valuable discoveries, potential threats. This is all three." "You're a spy," Minji said flatly. "I prefer intelligence coordinator," Taeyang said. "And right now, I'm your best asset. I have the authority to negotiate on behalf of Earth's government. I can help structure this properly." "Can we trust you?" Valara asked directly. Taeyang looked at her honestly. "I want what's best for Earth. Yes. But I'm not a monster. What Hyunwoo did was kind and brave. What you've discovered could help billions of Selavani. I see the value in that. My job is to make sure everyone benefits fairly." Before anyone could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the colony. Everyone's communicators buzzed urgently. Park checked hers and her face went pale. "Multiple ships just appeared in orbit. They're Selavani vessels, 6 of them." "That was faster than I expected," Valara said, worry crossing her face. "Is that normal?" Do-hyun asked. This shook her head. "No. They must have had ships nearby already. That means..." She looked at her sister with fear. "That means... Mother is looking for us." "Mother?" Hyunwoo asked. "High Matriarch Senna," Valara explained. "One of the most powerful leaders in Selavani space. And yes, our mother. She must have been searching for us since we disappeared." The communicator buzzed again. Park listened, then looked up with a grim expression. "The lead ship is demanding we send representatives immediately. They want to know why we have their people." "They sound angry," Minji said nervously. "Wouldn't you be?" Taeyang said. "From their perspective, we're holding 2 important Selavani hostage on a primitive mining world. Then we show them we're not primitive," Park decided. "And we show them that we saved their people, not harmed them." "Valara. This. Will you come with us?" "Of course," Valara said. They prepared quickly. Hyunwoo changed into his best clothes, feeling completely out of his depth. He was just a cook. How had he ended up in the middle of the most important first contact in history? As they headed to the transport that would take them to the Selavani flagship, This grabbed Hyunwoo's hand. "Thank you," she said simply. "For everything." "We're not done yet," Hyunwoo replied. "No," she agreed. "We're just beginning." The transport lifted off, carrying them toward the waiting alien fleet. Below, the mining colony watched and waited. Above, 6 massive ships hung in orbit like silver threats, and in his heart, Hyunwoo hoped that the simple act of sharing food would be enough to bridge the gap between species, to turn fear into friendship, and to save a civilization from extinction. But as they approached the flagship and saw its weapon systems active, he realized that the hardest part was just beginning. The Selavani flagship was massive. As their small transport docked, Hyunwoo felt like an insect entering a cathedral. The walls glowed with soft blue light, and the air smelled like ozone and something sweet he couldn't identify. Armed guards met them at the airlock. They were tall and imposing, with the same translucent skin as Valara and This, but with harder expressions. They didn't point weapons, but the threat was clear. "This way," one guard said through a translator. His voice was cold. They walked through corridors that curved in ways that hurt to look at, following geometry that human minds weren't built to understand. Finally, They entered a huge chamber. At the far end, on a raised platform, sat the most magnificent being Hyunwoo had ever seen. High Matriarch Senna was easily 8 feet tall, with 4 arms adorned in silver bands and robes that seemed to be made of liquid starlight. Her silver eyes were ancient and powerful, her face both beautiful and terrifying. When she saw Valara and Thys, those eyes filled with emotion. "My daughters," she said, her voice shaking. "You live." Valara and Thys rushed forward. The High Matriarch descended from her platform and embraced them, all 12 arms tangling together in relief and joy. For a moment, she was just a mother who thought she had lost her children. Then she turned those eyes on the humans, and she was a leader again. "You are the ones who kept my daughters?" she asked. Her tone was neutral, but Hyunwoo heard the danger beneath it. Director Park stepped forward, showing no fear. "High Matriarch, I am Director Ji-won Park of Earth Mining Colony Epsilon 7. We found your daughters in distress and provided assistance. They are guests, not prisoners." "They look different," Senna said, studying Valara and Thys carefully. "Stronger, healthier. How is this possible? What did you do to them?" "We fed them," Hyunwoo said before he could stop himself. Everyone looked at him. He swallowed hard. "I'm sorry. I fed them. Regular Earth food. Rice, vegetables, fruit. It helped them." Senna's eyes locked onto him like targeting lasers. You are the one who saved them?" "Yes, High Matriarch." She studied him for a long moment. "Food. Simple, organic food. And this made them stronger?" "It did more than that," Do-hyun said, stepping forward with his tablet. "If I may, High Matriarch, I'm a xenobiologist. The changes in your daughters are extraordinary. Their cellular regeneration increased by 400%. Dormant genetic sequences are activating. Their bodies are healing in ways I've never seen." Senna took the tablet and scrolled through the data. Her expression shifted from skepticism to shock to something like hope. "This is not possible. We have tried for millennia to reverse our decline. The best minds in our civilization have failed because they were looking in the wrong direction," Valara said gently. "Mother, we abandoned organic nutrition 10,000 years ago. We forgot what it could do. Human food has organic compounds your bodies remember," Do-hyun explained. "When Valara and Thys consumed it, their genetics recognized it. The pathways for processing organic matter never disappeared. They just went dormant," Taeyang added, "and Earth has vast agricultural capabilities. We grow food not just for nutrition, but for culture, for pleasure, for connection. We have thousands of varieties of plants and preparation methods." Senna looked at her daughters again. "You feel better? Truly?" "Mother, I feel alive for the first time in my life," Thys said. "Before, I was always tired, always weak. Now I have energy. I can think clearly. My body feels right in ways I didn't know were wrong before." "Show me," Senna commanded. Hyunwoo had brought supplies, hoping for this chance. He pulled out containers from his bag. "This is kimchi. Fermented vegetables. This is rice. This is dried fruit. And this is chocolate. A sweet made from plants." He handed them to Senna. The High Matriarch looked at the simple food with suspicion. Around the chamber, her advisors and guards watched with curiosity and concern. "If I eat this, what will happen?" Senna asked. "You'll feel stronger," Hyunwoo said simply. "You'll feel the way your people were meant to feel." Senna picked up a piece of chocolate. She placed it in her mouth. Her eyes widened. She stood perfectly still for a moment, processing. Then she tried the kimchi, the rice, the fruit. With each bite, her expression changed. When she finished, the glow that Hyunwoo recognized so well began to pulse under her skin. The entire chamber gasped. Some guards raised weapons, thinking she was under attack. "No," Senna said, raising a hand. "No. This is extraordinary." She looked at her hands as they glowed. "I feel my body changing, waking up, How is this possible from such simple things? Because sometimes the simplest answers are the right ones, Park said. Senna sat down heavily on her platform. Do you understand what you're telling me? You're saying that Earth has the key to saving my species. Billions of Seluvani who are slowly dying could be healed with your food. Yes, Taeyang said, and we're willing to help. But we need to discuss terms. Terms, Senna repeated, and her voice got colder. You would negotiate while my people die? We would negotiate so both our peoples benefit, Taeyang said calmly. Earth has resources you need. You have technology and knowledge we need. This can be a partnership, not a transaction. Senna studied him. You're not just a simple inspector. No, High Matriarch. I represent Earth's interests in first contact scenarios. I'm authorized to negotiate treaties and alliances. Then negotiate, Senna said. What does Earth want? The discussion that followed was intense. Taeyang laid out Earth's position: agricultural support in exchange for technology sharing, cultural exchange, protected trade routes, and formal alliance. Senna countered with her own demands: immediate food supplies, biological research partnerships, and time to adapt. They argued, compromised, adjusted. Hyunwoo watched in amazement as the fate of two species was hammered out in this alien chamber. But then a tall Seluvani warrior stepped forward. His face was hard, his forearms crossed. This is shameful, he declared. High Matriarch, we should not beg primitives for help. War Commander Kirel, Senna said sharply, you will be silent. I will not, Kirel said. These humans have stumbled onto something valuable. We should take it. Their mining colony is small. Their defense is weak. We could seize their agricultural facilities and research the food ourselves. Other Seluvani murmured agreement. Hyunwoo felt fear spike through him. That would be unwise, Taeyang said, his voice steady. Earth may seem primitive, but we have friends in the galaxy. Attack us, and you'll face consequences. From who? Kirel laughed. No one cares about one small mining colony. From me, Senna said, her voice like ice. Commander, you forget yourself. These humans saved my daughters when they could have left them to die. They offer partnership when they could have hidden what they know. I will not repay kindness with violence. Then you are weak, Kirel spat. Our people are dying, and you hesitate to take what we need. Our people are dying because we made ourselves weak, Valara said, stepping forward. Because we thought we were better than organic life. Now we have a chance to heal, to grow strong again, and you want to throw that away for pride? I want us to be strong, not dependent, Kirel argued. Strength comes from choosing the right path, not the easy one, Thys added. Working with humans will make us stronger than stealing from them ever could. Kirel looked at the gathered Seluvani. Who stands with me? Who wants to take our future instead of begging for it? 3 ship commanders stood, half the advisors, dozens of guards. The chamber split into 2 groups, those who supported alliance and those who wanted conquest. This is mutiny, Senna said quietly. This is survival, Kirel responded. He turned to his supporters. Return to your ships. We take the mining colony now. Alarms blared. The chamber erupted into chaos. Guards loyal to Senna moved to block the exits. Kirel's supporters drew weapons. Everyone down, Park shouted, pulling Hyunwoo behind a pillar. Valara grabbed her mother's arm. Mother, we must stop this. They'll kill the humans. Destroy the colony. I know, Senna said grimly. She raised her voice. Amplified through the ship's systems. All loyal crews. This is your High Matriarch. Commander Kirel has committed treason. Do not follow his orders. But on the view screen, Hyunwoo saw 3 Seluvani ships breaking formation. They were turning toward the planet. Toward the mining colony, where hundreds of humans lived and worked. Completely unaware of the danger, Kirel smiled coldly. You're too late, Senna. My ships are already moving. In 10 minutes, We'll have their hydroponics facilities and all the food supplies we need. The humans will surrender or die. Hyunwoo felt sick. This was his fault. He'd tried to help, and now people were going to die because of it. But then This grabbed his hand and squeezed. "Don't give up," she whispered. "We can stop this. We just need the right plan." Hyunwoo looked at the chaos around him, at the ships moving toward his home, at the civil war beginning in the Selavani fleet. He was just a cook. What could he possibly do? And then, suddenly, he knew exactly what to do. "Director Park," Hyunwoo said urgently. "I need to broadcast to all the Selavani ships. Right now." "What? Why?" Park looked at him like he was crazy. "Trust me," Hyunwoo said. "High Matriarch, please. Give me access to your communications." Senna studied him for a moment, then nodded to one of her technicians. "Do it. Give the human access." "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" Minji asked nervously. "No," Hyunwoo admitted. "But I have to try." Moments later, his image was being broadcast to every Selavani vessel. Thousands of aliens saw this simple human standing in the chamber, covered in dust from diving behind a pillar, looking absolutely terrified but determined. "Hello," Hyunwoo said. "My name is Hyunwoo. I'm a cook from Earth. I'm the one who fed Valara and This. And I want to show you something." He pulled out his portable cooking kit from his bag. Right there, in the middle of the crisis, he started cooking. "What are you doing?" Kyrell demanded. "Making dinner," Hyunwoo said simply. He worked quickly, his hands steady even though his heart was racing. He cooked rice in a small electric pot. He chopped vegetables with a knife. He mixed spices and oils. The chamber filled with wonderful smells. "For 10,000 years, you've eaten energy," Hyunwoo said as he cooked, talking to the cameras, to every Selavani watching. "You've consumed crystals and power sources. You've been efficient and practical. But you've lost something important. You've lost this." He held up a bowl of freshly cooked food. Steam rose from it, carrying scents of garlic, sesame oil, and fresh greens. "This is how my grandmother taught me to cook," he continued. "She said that food isn't just about surviving. It's about living. It's about taking care of people you love. When I found Valara and This dying, I didn't think about politics or treaties. I just thought, these people are hungry, and I can feed them." He took a bite of his food, showing how it was done. "On Earth, we share meals together. When we're happy, when we're sad, when we're celebrating or mourning, we cook for our families, our friends, even for strangers. Food brings us together." On the view screen, he could see crew members on Kyrell's ships watching. They looked confused, curious, even hungry. "Commander Kyrell wants to take our food by force," Hyunwoo said. "But that's not how food works. Food isn't something you steal. It's something you share. And I'm inviting all of you to share with us. Not as enemies, not as conquerors, but as guests. As friends." He prepared another bowl and handed it to the nearest Selavani guard, one who had been standing with Kyrell's faction. The guard hesitated, looking at Kyrell, then at the food. "Try it," Hyunwoo said gently. "You don't have to fight for this. We want to give it to you." The guard took the bowl. He ate. Within moments, the glow appeared under his skin. His eyes widened in wonder. He looked at Kyrell, then at Senna, then back at the food. "I feel," the guard said slowly. "I feel alive. How long have I been dying without knowing it?" "All your life," This said softly. "We all have been." Hyunwoo prepared more bowls, handing them out to Selavani all around the chamber. Even some of Kyrell's supporters stepped forward to try. Each one who ate showed the same reaction. Wonder. Joy. That beautiful glow. "This is what we're offering," Hyunwoo said. "Not just food, but life, health, hope. You don't need to attack our colony for this. Come down peacefully. Let us cook for you. Let us teach you. Let us help." On the view screen, one of Kyrell's ships stopped advancing. Then another. Crew members were transporting down to the mining colony. Not with weapons, but empty-handed. They were coming to try the food. "No," Kyrell growled. "Return to your stations. This is a trick." But his crew wasn't listening. They were tired of dying slowly. They were hungry for something they'd never known they were missing. The promise of a bowl of rice and vegetables was more powerful than any threat. Commander Kyrell stood alone as his supporters abandoned him one by one, transported to the colony to taste human food. His ships hung in space, empty of purpose. "You've made us weak," he said to Hyunwoo. "Dependent on you." "No," Senna said firmly. "He's given us a path to be strong again. There's no shame in accepting help. The shame is in dying from pride." Kyrell looked around at the empty chamber, at his abandoned position, at the failure of his mutiny. Finally, he lowered his weapons. "I wanted to save our people," he said quietly. "So did I," Senna said. "We just chose different paths. Mine is working." I come from Ina. Down on the planet, an incredible scene was unfolding. Hundreds of Selivani had transported to the mining colony. The human colonists, after the initial shock, had opened their kitchens. They were cooking every recipe they knew, preparing meals for the hungry aliens. Hyunwoo watched on the view screens as his fellow colonists shared their food. He saw a maintenance worker teaching a Selivani soldier how to eat noodles. He saw the medical staff preparing soups for the sick ones. He saw children offering aliens pieces of fruit and laughing together. "This is what humanity does best," Taeyang said, watching with a smile. "We feed people." Over the next hours, a formal agreement was reached. Not through threats or force, but through the simple act of sharing a meal. Earth would establish agricultural colonies to grow food for the Seluvani. In return, the Seluvani would share their technology, protect Earth's space, and work together to research the biological connection between their species. Hyunwoo's mining colony became the first official human Seluvani embassy. Director Park was promoted to station commander of the most important outpost in human space. Minji led teams designing new ships that combined human and Seluvani technology. Do-hyun headed research into the biology that was saving an entire species. And Hyunwoo? He stayed as head chef of the embassy, because that's what he did best. 6 months later, Hyunwoo stood in his new, much larger kitchen, preparing food for a celebration. The embassy had grown to house thousands. Seluvani and humans lived and worked together, learning from each other, building something new. This appeared in the doorway, and Hyunwoo noticed immediately that she looked different. She was glowing, but not from eating. This was something else. "Thais, are you okay?" She smiled, tears in her silver eyes. "Hyunwoo, I need to tell you something. I'm pregnant." Hyunwoo dropped his spoon. "What?" "The first natural Selivani pregnancy in over 1,000 years," she said, laughing and crying at once. "The doctors say the baby is healthy. Perfect. No genetic problems. No weakness. Because of the food. Because of you." Hyunwoo felt his own eyes water. "That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I want to ask you something," This said seriously. "In Selivani culture, we choose honorary family members for our children. People who guide them, teach them, help them grow. Would you be my child's uncle? The first human in our family?" Hyunwoo couldn't speak. He just nodded, and This hugged him tightly. That evening, the celebration began. Hundreds of Selivani and humans gathered in the embassy's great hall. Tables were loaded with food from both cultures. Human dishes and new recipes created together. Music played, mixing earth instruments with Selivani harmonics. High Matriarch Senna approached Hyunwoo as he watched the party. She looked healthier now too, eating human food regularly. Many of the older Selivani were showing remarkable improvements. "You know what amazes me most," Senna said. "What, High Matriarch? Your people have this saying, yes? The way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. You humans understood something we forgot. That feeding someone is an act of love. You fed my daughters, and now we are bound together. Not as master and servant, not as conqueror and conquered, but as family. Hyunwoo watched Valara teaching a group of young Selavani how to make kimchi. He saw Minji dancing with a Selavani engineer, both laughing. He saw Do-hyun deep in conversation with Selavani scientists, all excited about their discoveries. He saw This, hands on her growing belly, talking to human children about what it was like to carry the future of her species. We almost destroyed each other, Senna continued. Commander Kyrell wanted to take by force what you offered freely. How close we came to war. Senna, but we didn't, Hyunwoo said. We chose to share instead. Because of you. Because a simple cook decided to feed 2 starving strangers. Hyunwoo shook his head. I just did what any human would do. What my grandmother taught me. If someone is hungry, you feed them. It's not complicated. Perhaps not for humans, Senna said. But for the Selavani, it was a lesson we needed to relearn. We thought we had evolved beyond basic needs like food and compassion. We were wrong. We were dying because of it. The celebration continued into the night. More ships arrived each week, bringing Selavani who wanted to try human food, to heal, to live. Earth's farmers worked overtime growing crops. Human chefs traveled to Selavani worlds to teach cooking. The 2 species were intertwining, building something neither could have created alone. Hyunwoo returned to his kitchen after the party. He was tired but happy. As he cleaned his workspace, he thought about the journey, from finding 2 dying aliens in the dust, to hosting a celebration of 2 species coming together, all because he'd made them a bowl of rice. The kitchen door opened. Valara and This entered, still glowing from the party. We wanted to say goodnight, Valara said. And thank you. Again. You've thanked me enough, Hyunwoo said with a smile. Never enough. This disagreed. You saved our lives, our species, our future. How do you thank someone for that? You already have, Hyunwoo said. By being here. By being friends. By letting me be part of your family. The sisters hugged him together, and Hyunwoo felt grateful for that moment he'd chosen kindness over protocol. Compassion over caution. He just wanted to help 2 people who were starving. He never imagined it would change the galaxy. But that's how the greatest things often begin. With one person deciding to do something kind. As Hyunwoo turned off the lights and headed to his quarters, he looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, thousands of Selavani were eating their first real meals. Feeling alive for the first time. Somewhere, farmers were planting crops that would feed billions. Somewhere, children from both species were learning about each other, building friendships that would last generations. All because someone shared a bowl of rice. Hyunwoo smiled and whispered to the stars, Grandmother, I think I finally understand what you meant. Food isn't just about feeding the body. It's about feeding hope. And in his kitchen, ready for tomorrow's meals, ingredients waited to continue building bridges between worlds, one dish at a time.